You want to consolidate your PC down to something that you're proud of, but people don't want to buy some of the stuff that you have. So now what do? You've spent thousands of dollars on some of these cards, but there's not really a market for them. I want to be helpful, but I don't know how. Frustration point, frustration point, frustration point, frustration point. This hobby can be very frustrating. Whether you're trying to find a card that you want to buy or you're trying to get rid of stuff, there's a lot of frustration in this hobby, and that actually starts to bother people. I am a very frustrated individual. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do, and then there's reality and what you can actually do. So in this video, I figured I would come on and just sort of talk about how I deal with frustration in this hobby. That's it. There's not going to be much editing. I'm going to just do free form because I'm not putting out a lot of content recently. For those of you who follow me, you know that I was putting out a lot more content than I have. And that's because I'm frustrated. I don't know exactly what to say. I don't know what kind of videos to do. I put a lot of effort and work into them, and I want to make this a good channel, but it's frustrating. Again, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the frustration in the hobby, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about frustration in life and sort of how you can kind of deal with that. So the first thing I figured I would do is I've been actually going to a whole bunch of card shows over the last, I guess, couple months. And I did a card show. Like I set up as a dealer at the beginning of January. And I was able to, let me do what I picked up first. I didn't pay for everything. Some things were in trade, and some people kind of gave me stuff. So here's a gift that I got. So I figured I would show this one to you. So this is from the show Entourage. This is an auto from Johnny Jama or Kevin Dillon, the actor. So that was a gift. So again, thank you to the person who gave it to me. This was in a trade. I am becoming a Juan Soto. Well, I've always was a Juan Soto fan, but now that he's on the Mets, I'm much more of a Juan Soto fan. So I got that one in a trade, so I didn't pay anything for it. I did get this in the last show, so not in January, but before, so at the end of the year. I got all of these cards in trade. So I got a Bagwell rookie. Actually, I'm not sure if, I think it's a rookie. I got this Clemente. I got another Ripken rookie. I just get these because these can be trade bait. Because you can always, who doesn't want a Ripken rookie, especially if it's in a slab? Even if it's a low-end slab, people will still take that for raw cards, which is what I'm looking for. I got another Munson rookie. I'm not sure if I'll keep this one or I'll keep the one that's ungraded. Who knows? I am very happy about this one. This one's a Biggio auto. This is a Musial from 59, which I love this set, and I only want key ones. This is a Doc Gooden in 87. Again, all in trades. I got a Maddox rookie finally. This is from the Topps Traded set. I got a Walter Payton. I got a Cleon Jones from my Mets set that I'm trying to do. And then I actually got this one graded by SGC. This is a Ken Griffey Jr. I will probably sell this one. I'm just keeping raw ones in my collection. If I ever, I think if I ever do get one that's graded, if I do it in a trade, I'll probably either do a 9, 9.5. I don't know if I'll ever trade for a 10 because I just think it's overvalued. Not that it's not worth what it's worth. Because it is worth around $2,000. I'm not saying that it's not worth $2,000 because I know that gets a lot of people their eye are up, like, whoa, but it's worth it. It is, it's worth $2,000. I'm saying that I don't place that much value on it. I don't think that it's worth $2,000 to me. It is worth $2,000 because I know I talk a lot about values on this channel, and that some cards are not worth what people are paying for them. That card is worth $2,000 in a 10. I just don't have that much value. I would much rather, if I were to spend or trade $2,000 worth of cards, that is not the card that I would go after. I have plenty. I have like 10 in ungraded condition, so I'm fine with that. Anyway, I set up as a dealer, and I made $255. That's it. So 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, and this is $55 over here. That's it. That's all I did. That's all I made. It was an entire day. It was from about 10 o'clock to like 3, 4 in the afternoon, and I made $255. That's it. So a lot of you, if you're wondering like, well, how much can you make going to a card show, if you set up as a dealer, just be aware that you're not making a lot of money unless you have like real high-end cards, but also be aware that if you have real high-end cards, that means you need one person to come in with that kind of cash to go, yes, I want that card. And that doesn't happen at some of these local shows unless you have a social media presence and you're telling people weeks before you actually set up at a show, I'm going to be at a show and this is what I'm bringing. And one thing that I recognize and I start to see in the hobby is that there's a lot of dealers out there that do zero communication on social media. Like, it's funny to me, actually. Like, I am working behind the scenes. Like, I have the job title, I guess. I'm chief of staff for the Arizona State Card Show, for full transparency. So I am working with the largest card show, sports and Pokemon show in the state of Arizona. Our next show will be in March, and this is now official, it is out there. We're hosting that show at Chase Field, which is the Major League Baseball home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is the biggest show ever in Arizona State history. And so I'm working with brands to try to see who wants to sponsor the event. The Arizona State Card Show has 3 major events throughout the year, and over 30,000 people come to these events. Now, obviously, that's not national numbers. That's not Fanatics Fest numbers. That's not even West Coast Card Show numbers. But we're the 4th largest show in the country because we do much more audience than Culture Collision. We do much more audience than Dallas. Again, it's March, it's spring training. All of the tourists come to Phoenix from the West Coast, from the North, from the Southwest area. Everybody comes to Phoenix during March for spring training. And so this show is right in the middle of spring training, which means that you have all of these people with nothing else to do, and it's the largest sports and Pokemon show. So if you are going to be in Phoenix between the dates of March 13th through 15th, come down to Chase Field. You got to get your tickets through Ticketmaster. You can go to the website, Arizona State Card Show, or Collectibles on College, either one, that's the URL, and you can buy your tickets through Ticketmaster. Again, Chase Field has an exclusive agreement with Ticketmaster. We cannot sell tickets on our own. We must sell through Ticketmaster, so you have to go there to get them. Anyway, in terms of the frustration that I have, it's being able to do what I want to do. I am a recovering card hoarder. And it's a little difficult sometimes to kind of admit those things. Again, on YouTube, I'm old enough to remember a time before social media. I'm old enough to remember a time before the internet. That's the other piece. And so for anybody that's in my age bracket, for younger people, you probably are like, what does that even mean? But for my age bracket and older, obviously, senior citizens. I'm not a boomer. I'm not a senior citizen. Like I'm young enough. But we lived in a time where you didn't tell people everything that's going on in your life. That's different today. Today, everybody tells everything. There are no real secrets anymore. And that's weird. So I guess my secret was that I have hoarding tendencies. Now, I am not an actual hoarder. And the reason why I say that, I'm not in denial. It's that I am the son of a hoarder. And because of that, if you ever watch the show Hoarders, then you know the kids of hoarders pick up these behaviors and these tendencies, and that becomes a lifelong issue, and it can turn into hoarding. So you can become a hoarder. Now, for whatever reason, I have rejected that. Like, I don't want to be a hoarder. Therefore, I've protected myself enough to not be a hoarder. But for those that know, I had accumulated 8 million cards by the time I was 18 years old. And part of the reason why that happened was because I was a dealer, a sports card dealer, from the age of 13 through 18. If you want to know more about the background of that, I actually did a 4-part series on that called The Adventures in Sports Cards. You can go check out the playlist on my channel. There's 4 episodes. They're not that long. They're mildly entertaining. I think they're very well produced. Again, I'm trying to do more with this channel, but that's also the frustrating part, is that I want to do more. Problem is that I am doing all of this by myself, and so you have to accept limitations, and that's a problem for a lot of people. There's a lot of FOMO, there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of envy. When we see these sports card influencers literally wasting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you get sucked in like, well, maybe I should spend, and you don't have the money to do it, and so you get frustrated. And so for anybody that's following me, I want you to be with me in this journey for healthy hobby, for enjoying the hobby, for enjoying the cards, for enjoying it, because it's fun if you do it the right way. It's not fun if you do it the wrong way. And I recently saw a video from Chris Sewell, who is the sports card investor, dealer, collector, I guess is what he says in that order. I think that's his slogan. And he put out a video of a cautionary tale. Now, I'll do a react video on that. Again, frustration. There's so much that I'd like to do. I need a producer. I don't know if anybody's out there. If you want to be in sports card social media, like if you want this to be your career, if you know a young person, like a high school kid, who's like, I want to know how to produce a podcast. I want to know how to produce videos. I want to know, how do I make this my own career? I'll give you an internship with me and I'll teach you everything. Like literally everything. I just started an intern program for students at Arizona State University with the Arizona State Card Show. So we're starting that this semester. It is exciting. I've run intern programs with college students for years. Again, I'm a 25-year educator. I'm an expert in next-gen skills. I'm putting together a white paper explaining what next-gen skills are because nobody knows. And there's a lot of non-information out there. Again, more frustration on my part because I already know what these things are and you don't. And that's frustrating to me because I'm like, I just want to talk. I just want to talk to you. And I want you to be on the same page because when you're on the same page, it's an easier conversation. Not only that, it's more fun because you go, oh, I know what he's talking about. And then you have your perspective and you have your opinion and you go, oh, what about this? And what about that? When you talk about something that you don't know anything about, or you think you know more than you do, the conversation doesn't go anywhere. It's just a lot of frustration because the person who knows more is sitting there going, that's not correct. Like, why are you saying that? And then the person that's saying this stuff that doesn't know anything gets frustrated themselves because they're like, why are you disrespecting my opinion? And it's like, but your opinion is not based in anything. You just have an opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that. But once you realize that your opinion is so off base, that's when you start to feel foolish. And no one wants to feel that way. And unfortunately, again, another frustration of mine is that when I talk to people who have a closed mindset, I make them feel stupid, which is not what I want to do. In fact, that's the opposite of what I want to do. I'm here to teach. I'm here to educate. I'm here to help people learn and enjoy their life. That's my mission and purpose, is to help people pursue their dreams. If you're in this hobby and you want to build a great collection, yes, come here. I want to help you do that. And the problem is that communication is the second most important next-gen skill in the 21st century. First is leadership. And the reason is because when you learn how to become a leader, you learn how to develop a vision. And in a hobby, you need a vision for your collection. You have to know your why. Why are you collecting? Why? And I've been going through that process over the last, decade, because I've been selling off the hoard. Again, I had 8 million cards. And so I've sold about 7.5 million cards. Again, it's not just individual. Like, it's not just individual cards that's 8 million. Like, I have a ton of stuff. Like, here's the big 1984 big. All right, just so everybody, like, here you go. See, this is big. Now, I just did a deal. I'm very happy about this deal. And some people might criticize this deal. So here you go. I'm going to tell you what this deal is. I'm going to show you the cards because I took pictures. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm getting back. Now, it's going to take a few months to get them back. But I traded 42 cards. These are the cards. And I traded them for 5 autos. And I'm getting autos from Doc Gooden, Wade Boggs, Don Mattingly, and Darryl Strawberry, and Jose Canseco. So that's what I'm getting back. No money, just 42 cards. Now, I want to be clear. I priced out those 42 cards. And the retail value, again, that's what they're worth. The retail value of those 42 cards is about $650. And I'm getting back 5 autos. That's it. Now, they're going to be slabbed. They're going to be authenticated, which, again, for me, saves me time and like issues dealing with PSA. So for me, the time aspect of it is huge. I will get them back whenever. I know the person that I did the deal with, which means I know that I'll actually get them back, because that's the other thing, is that you have to trust the people that you work with. You have to trust the people that you work with. And that's frustrating as well, especially online, because unfortunately, some people make promises they can't keep. And I know that a lot of you now, with a lot of the online stuff that's going on, eBay's got too many scams, Reddit has scams, Facebook Marketplace has scams. There's just scams all over the place. Now, I was trying to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but let's just say that didn't work. People, like the stuff, a lot of the stuff that I sell in bulk are for either dealers or flippers. Like if you're looking for an investment lot, you want me. You're like, oh yeah, I can make money off your stuff because I'm selling it at a discount price that you can then make money from. But you have to know how to sell in order to buy stuff from me. If I set up as a dealer, then there's a different mindset. I'm not selling to dealers and flippers. I'm selling to collectors, which means the stuff that I bring to a show is going to be different. And the way I price it is also going to be different because a collector is not going to spend $1,000 on a bunch of random stuff. That's not how a collector acts. It's not how a collector thinks. A collector is looking for specific things, and that's what they're going to pay for. So I sold at the show that's in January. I finally sold a Clark Kellogg rookie, that's a basketball, from the Star set. There's no other way I could sell that card, but a collector came and was looking for rookie cards from the 80s. Well, I had that, and he's like, oh, great. Now, the price on the card was $12, and he offered me 10. Brilliant. Here you go. For $10, you get the rookie. Now, one, that's a great deal for him because it's way cheaper than buying it on eBay. Because on eBay, he would maybe spend 10 or 11, but then you'd have to add in the tax, and then you have to add in the shipping, which would bring that card's overall cost to about $15. So he saved $5 plus he had it in hand. That's why I honestly believe going to a show is just a smarter idea in today's world, which is funny because everything's virtual, everything's digital, and I think going to shows makes the most sense. Now, here's frustration from the collector's standpoint. When you go to a show, not every dealer wants to sell their stuff. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense. I understand because you're like, well, why would they set up as a dealer if they don't want to sell? Here's the issue. Dealers also overpay for cards, and sometimes dealers get themselves into trouble because they don't understand that they're running a business. And when you run a business, when you overpay for cards, sometimes you have to clearance your stuff. You need to just get rid of it. Get whatever cash you can get back and deploy that cash better next time. Yes, you're taking a loss. Yes, you're taking a loss. What business doesn't take a loss? What do you think the clearance aisle is? The clearance aisle is stuff that didn't sell at full price because nobody wants it. You have to sometimes recognize that sometimes you have to stop doing that. It's full price. Let's go. Just get rid of it. Clearance it. And clearance sometimes means 40% off, 50% off, 60% off, 70% off. I've sometimes clearanced items at 70% off the full value. Because sometimes people are like, yeah, so they'll take a $100 card for $30. That's all you can get, $30. The card is worth $100. I understand, but you are not going to sell it. So what are you doing? If you're a dealer, you need to get the cash so you can go buy better stuff. I'm frustrated because when I do shows, and I don't do many now because I don't really like setting up as a dealer. I also don't have the type of stuff that's going to sell a lot at shows. You have to also know who the audience is at your show. But that's the point. And that's why these major shows. So if you want to sell high-end cards, this is sort of like the secret behind the sauce, right? If you want to sell high-end cards, whether that's vintage or modern, high-end cards, you have to do a major show. You have to go to the National, you have to go to West Coast Card Show, you have to go to Fanatics Fest, and I'm hoping that you'll also come to Arizona. We have thousands of people who come with major money to this show. I just put out a press release. Again, I am a chief of staff for this show. I put out a press release. They got 255 million impressions because it was picked up by Yahoo Finance. It was picked up by MarketWatch. It was picked up by everybody. We have about $50 million worth of cards, sports, and Pokemon coming to the show in March, which means that if you want to pick up high-end stuff, this is the show to come to. Now, the advantage of doing the Arizona show as opposed to all three other major shows is this is not going to feel like a zoo. It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy, but it's not a zoo. And everybody's seen the videos of the National and the West Coast. It's crazy. There's just too many people. This is sort of a major show that still feels like a convention, which is the beauty of it. And it's also going to be at the Chase Field, which is the home of the Diamondbacks. So you get to see the ambience of a Major League Baseball stadium while at a card show. I mean, this is going to be the most amazing thing ever. I'm hoping we can get some of the social media influencers who are going to be going onto this show. So please hit the subscribe button if you want to know who's coming. If you're interested, you can DM me, or we're going to create a email list for anybody that wants to do some special giveaways. We're going to be giving away free tickets to go to the show. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff, but we're going to do a special email list for that. So it's going to, and obviously it's free. So there's no purchase necessary. You don't have to do anything. You just have to get on the email list. But we're going to do a whole bunch of giveaways on that email list. So if you're interested, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know that you're interested, because that's the best way to let me know. So hit the like button right now and go, yes, I want to know about the email list. And if you want to tell other people, share this video, because that's the only way information gets shared anymore. Just share the video and be like, yes, you got to watch this whole thing. Anyway, how I deal with frustration. So here's the best suggestion that I can give. The best way to deal with frustration is to accept it. And there's a 3-step process to doing that. 1, acknowledge that you're frustrated. It's okay to be frustrated. It happens. But you have to acknowledge, you have to admit it first. You have to say, all right, look, I'm frustrated. And then try to dig into, well, why am I frustrated? For me, I'm frustrated because I want to put out more content, but it's just a lot of work. And I don't want to put out fluff. I want to put out quality stuff. And that's frustrating because some of the times I don't know what to produce, which is why I need a producer. So if you're looking for an internship, hit me up, DM me. This is my Instagram. I don't check Twitter at the moment, so just do Instagram. Eventually, I'll build out the Twitter. But just DM me. If you want an internship, I guess we could do it remotely, so you could be anywhere in the country, although I would prefer that you're local in Phoenix, just so we could get together and I can really teach you everything you need to know. Again, it's free, so it's perfect for a young person. But that's the point. So that's my frustration. So I have to admit that I'm frustrated. 2, I have to know why. And so that's the reason why. I'm frustrated because I want to put out more content, but I just have trouble doing it. And then the third thing is you have to just accept it and just go, okay, I'm frustrated. It is what it is. And that's it. And then let it go. Because if you stay in the FOMO, you stay in the envy, you stay in the jealousy, you stay in you watch these videos from these social media influencers and you're like, oh, I wanna, it's not good for you. It's perfect for them. They get what they want. They get the clicks, they get the likes, they get the views, they get the watch time. and everything gets drained out of you. And what I want to do with this channel is I want this to be the opposite of a drain. I want this to fill your cup. Instead of emptying your cup, I want to fill your cup with inspiration, with fun, with enjoyment, with positivity. I want you to go away from my videos going, oh, this is awesome. I can now move forward. I can do what I want to do, and I can enjoy this hobby. I can enjoy sports. I've been a sports fan, and I've been involved in sports practically my whole life. When I went to college, I was a sports broadcaster from the day I started college. Literally, the first day of college, I was on the radio, which is remarkable because I didn't speak for most of my childhood. I know that probably doesn't make any sense, but like literally, I didn't say anything. I just would go through life just nodding and listening. Probably why I'm a better listener as an adult, because I listened a lot as a kid. So I'm used to it. Most people are not used to listening. Most people are used to, they get the information in, but it triggers, this is what I got to say next. So they listen to respond. They don't listen to what's called understand. And that's the mind shift. If anybody's ever read Stephen Covey's famous book, 7 Principles of Highly Effective People, then you know that one of the things you need to be able to do is what's called active listening skills. And the difference between active listening and passive listening is that when you listen to understand, not listen to respond. And that's literally the thing that most people get wrong. That's also why I teach leadership skills and have been teaching leadership skills since 2011, because one of the fundamentals of leadership, there are 6 fundamentals. One of them is called support, and the best way to support someone else is to actively listen to them. Listen to understand. Do you want someone to trust you, to think that you're a good person, and to also believe in you? You have to listen to them. Don't talk. Don't interject. Don't interrupt. Don't give your 2 cents. Just listen. Can you sit there and listen to someone for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes without saying anything other than, let me see if I understand you correctly. Did you just say this? Oh, okay. So if you're saying this, what do you mean? Imagine doing that with someone that you care about. I'm telling you right now, they're going to look at you and go, what'd you do with the old you? Like, this is great. I love this. You're listening to me. And I'm telling you, when you lock in on listening skills, it's a game changer. It's a literal game changer. Now, it's not something that we're normally used to. That's, again, we're taught not to listen to people. We're taught in our school system that you should express everything that's going on in your head. That's it. You should tell everyone, speak up. That's what we're told. Speak up, speak up, speak up. Guess what happens? When everyone's speaking up, then who's listening? No one. No one. So I developed a whole bunch of active listening activities to help people practice that. I did a free webinar on YouTube on my education channel. I don't know if it's still up there. Might be. Who knows? But I am putting together a whole bunch of things because I'm trying to be more intentional in 2026. I want this to be the year that I build everything. Again, more frustration. I want to be helpful, but I don't know how. And that's the frustration. You want a high-end collection, but you don't want to overspend. So there's that frustration point. You want to consolidate your PC down to something that you're proud of, but people don't want to buy some of the stuff that you have. So now what do? You've spent thousands of dollars on some of these cards, but There's not really a market for them. Again, frustration point, frustration point, frustration point, frustration point. What do you do? So that's the point, is how do you actually deal with these things? And so again, my recommendation is admit that you're frustrated, acknowledge the reason why you're frustrated, and then accept it. It's okay to be frustrated, and you can't necessarily solve all your problems in a day. Sometimes this takes a little bit more time. For me, it takes time for me to get out of that frustrated mindset, to unravel it and go, I'm wasting more time being frustrated than I'm actually doing what I want to do. And I don't know if you've ever come to that realization of, oh my God, if I had just not dealt with that, like if I had just let it go, I could probably be further along than all of this frustration. I've had frustration for the last 2 weeks. I've produced 1 video in 2 weeks. I've spent more energy and time dealing with the frustration than just putting out videos. And that's frustrating. Again, it's like a never-ending cycle of frustration for me. Frustrated. I'm frustrated about being frustrated. I don't know. I'm sharing. Who knows? Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I will check them out. I'm going to do another video this week, I guess maybe Sunday, on negative comments and kind of how I deal with negative comments, because I don't know. It is what it is. I'll just put it that way. It is what it is. The reason people give negative comments, you're going to want to know why that happens. So anyway, I'll see you in the next one. This is Doc saying, have a great week.